Ladies and gentlemen, you've read the title correct. I have purchased the OLED Steam Deck. And this device has absolutely been dominating my free time since I've purchased it. But let me tell you why I went and bought myself an OLED Steam Deck versus, the competitors like the ROG Ally and the Legion Go. Now, I can already hear the people in the comments, oh, I would never buy a Steam Deck. ROG Ally supremacy. I hear that. I understand why you're saying that. But in my use case, I already have a beast gaming PC. I have a PlayStation 5, I have a Nintendo Switch, and I have an Xbox Series X. So I don't need the power that the ROG Ally or the Legion Go provides because I have other devices that do that kind of gaming at a higher level anyway. So I'd still be bottlenecked in terms of power if I had the ROG Ally because I have a PC that's better than the ROG Ally, okay? So that brings up the Steam Deck. I got the Steam Deck specifically because of what it's putting down, and I want to pick that up. For example, I'm not too sure if the ROG Ally or the Legion Go have an OLED screen, but this one does. So I got this because I want an OLED screen. And this has a 90 hertz display, which is more than enough for me and what I needed to do. I wanted to add to my Steam library because I do game on PC, but that's not my main source of gaming. I do my majority of gaming on console, believe it or not, on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, depending on the game. Now, I do want to switch that, and I want to increase my Steam library. I want to add more games to Steam, and I want to have a more focused PC gaming experience, and I kind of want to start to phase some of the console usage out and really make my PC my main gaming device. Now, with this Steam Deck, I can add games to my Steam library and give myself more reasons to migrate and start using my PC and Steam Deck. So the Steam Deck provides value to my PC even though it is taking away some of that time because it's adding to my library quicker than it otherwise would have if I didn't have a Steam Deck. I wanted the Steam Deck specifically for older titles that I didn't get a chance to play. For example, Portal 1. I'm going to be making a video on this very soon. But Portal 1 is one of the games that I wanted to play, and I know it's on console or whatever. But the problem is I'm always on the go. And I'm constantly doing things, and I have to stay the night in other states because of my job. So I can't take my Xbox or PC or game system with me. It's just not practical. So because I'm on the go so much, this Steam Deck allows me to mess with my Steam and PC games on the go. So it's providing a lot of value because, like I said, I do want to phase out console gaming and take PC gaming way more seriously. So that's my specific use case. That's why I'm not buying ROG Ally or any of those other games because I don't need to play the newest AAA games on them. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the Steam Deck to play games like Red Dead 2-ish, Witcher 3-ish, or older. And I actually have a newer game with Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2, I don't know if you guys can see, let's let that focus. And it actually runs Space Marine 2 pretty well, especially if you have, Cryobite and all the things that give you more FPS and all those kind of things. And you can get the game running at a solid, anywhere from 30 to 40 frames. And I think maybe even 60 if you play on lower settings. So, Space Marine 2, way newer game, pretty demanding game on PC. And I can play that on the go pretty efficiently. It's not going to be the best thing ever, but it's going to be good enough to play if you need to scratch that itch. But I'm not even using it for games like this. So in my use case, the Steam Deck is going to allow me to play a lot of the older titles that I missed out on. And in situations where I'm not home, I get to play those games and have a great experience on an OLED screen with 90 hertz. Now, something that the OLED Steam Deck does that my consoles do not do, like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, is allow emulation. Now, what am I talking about when I say emulation? If I switch to my desktop mode on my Steam Deck, we have this here EmuDeck app. And what EmuDeck is going to allow you to do is download a bunch of emulators from PSPs to PS1s to PS3s to Xbox 360s to original Xbox to Switch games to Wii U games to DS games to Game Boy games. Pretty much any game you want to emulate is possible on the Steam Deck because of EmuDeck. So not only do I get to play all the older titles on Steam, add to my Steam library, play on the go, I can also play emulated games, which I own, by the way, on the go also. And I've honestly, as of right now, been playing way more emulation games than I have actual Steam games, believe it or not. Now, you may be asking yourself, what kind of emulation games are you playing? As soon as we load up Emulation Station, if you want to be technical, we load that up. I've been playing a lot of the Monster Hunter titles on DS, Wii U, PSP, because I'm a big Monster Hunter guy. So I've been using EmuDeck to emulate some of these older Monster Hunter titles that are on older hardware that I can't access anymore. And I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. This is actually the Wii U version. I know there's a 3DS version, but it actually plays and handles the Wii U version very, very well. Like, I have about 34 hours of this on here already, and I've only owned it for 2 weeks, if that. It's emulating these games at higher resolutions, higher textures than ever before, and some of these games you can get them running at higher frame rates. For me, I usually get anywhere around 60 FPS to 30 FPS depending on the emulator and the game. But you can just tell that it looks just so much better, and it's being displayed on an OLED screen. You know, even if you played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the Wii U natively, you're not getting it on the OLED screen. It just enhances everything because of that screen, on top of, you know, being able to play it on the go. Some of my favorite titles of all time, like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, Borderlands, these games were never able to be played on the go before, and now I can. Like, the fact that I can play Fallout 3 anywhere on the go, like I can be on a train and play Fallout 3, that is absolutely mind-boggling to me. And I know Borderlands is on the Switch, and a lot of the Switch games, the Switch actually has a great library, and there's a lot of games that you can play on the go with Switch, but you're not going to be able to play those Switch games that are third party as well as you can on the Steam Deck. So yeah, Fallout 3 for me is huge that I can play that on the go. Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, I can play Morrowind, pretty much any single player RPG I can play on the go because of this Steam Deck. And to me, that's just mind blowing because I'm such a big fan of the Fallout games. I'm such a big fan of the Monster Hunter games, but the fact that I don't have to have a 3DS, a Wii U, a Wii, a PSP, all in my pocket to play the games that I want, and I can just have them all on one device is such a big deal to me. And I can't understate how much value I feel that this device brings to me. And I know it sounds like I'm glazing it, which I am, and I'm not sponsored or paid to make this video in any way. This is just my honest evaluation on the Steam Deck. And I only have one regret with the Steam Deck, and that's that I didn't buy it sooner. I wish that I bought this day one when the OLED screen came out. The LCD screen, I feel like may have not been enough for me to buy it, but the fact that they have the vibrant and fresh OLED screen, like, it's really the nail in the coffin for me. And I don't know if I mentioned the specs, but I did put 2 terabytes of SSD in here. I swapped out the SSD. This thing is souped up and ready to go with hella games. Another thing about the Steam Deck that I really enjoy is the build quality. It feels very premium. It doesn't feel cheap at all. And when I hold it, I thought it was going to be a little bit clunky and awkward just off of seeing other review videos and how it fits in other people's hands. Pause. But yeah, when I play games on it, I don't even think about the controls. Like, I played on a Switch before, and if you play on a Switch with the Joy-Cons connected or whatever, the Steam Deck is like a Mercedes-Benz compared to the Switch. You know, the Switch would be a Honda, and then the Mercedes-Benz would be the Steam Deck in terms of feel and control and fit in your hand. Like, it just has an amazing build quality, feels premium, the screen feels premium. It handles games a lot better than I thought. So I just have so many good things to say about the Steam Deck, and I highly recommend it. Now, if I had to come up with one negative or one thing that isn't necessarily the greatest about the Steam Deck, and this is being nitpicky, is the battery. Now, the battery life is not trash, but it's also not great. The battery life is kind of like middle of the pack. Like, most games you're going to get like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours on a less demanding game. But if I could change one thing about it, I would update or make the battery life better in some way. But well, for what you're getting, it's kind of understandable where the battery's at. It doesn't feel lacking at all, but it'd just be nice to have, you know, a better battery. But yeah, all in all, should you buy the Steam Deck? Is the Steam Deck worth it? I'd say it depends on your use case. Maybe you'd be better off with the ROG Ally or the Legion Go if you don't have, you know, all the consoles that I have access to, because that may change your answer. For me personally, I didn't need a handheld to run games at super high, you know, FPS or have the strongest CPU or power or RAM. I just needed something that was going to let me play the older games that I like on Steam with, you know, a very nice display, a decent battery life. And the Steam Deck is doing that just perfectly for me. Like, Look at that. Come on. Get out of town. So I'd say, if you're in a similar situation as me and you just want something to get the job done and maybe not play those AAA titles, or the newer AAA titles, I should say. The Steam Deck is the perfect option for that, and it can even handle some of the newer titles, just maybe not as well as a PC or a console might be able to. But for me, in my use case, I wish I would have bought this thing sooner. I would have been able to play all my emulators and emulated games sooner. I would have been able to play Fallout 3 on the go sooner, New Vegas, Skyrim, all these things, because I am constantly on the go. And when I come home, I want to play a demanding game like Black Myth Wukong or, whatever game I want to play that's new. I want to play that on better hardware. But when I'm on the go, I just want to pick something up and play. So I cannot recommend the Steam Deck enough if you're in that similar situation. But if you can only buy, one console or one device to game and that's what you're looking for, you wouldn't even be in a bad position if you went with the Steam Deck, honestly. If you picked the Steam Deck over a PS5, I wouldn't even call you crazy. So I definitely 10 out of 10 recommend this. If you're interested in buying one, if you're interested in emulating games, if you're interested in, updating your Steam library and all those kind of things, this is a 10 out of 10 no-brainer must buy. And like I said, my only regret is that I didn't buy one sooner. But all that being said, I'm Draco and I'm out.